Hi everyone, this is Amy. Welcome to my channel. I recently had a viewer ask me about US Figure Skating's Special Accommodation Memo, or S.A.M, SAM for short. Their question was related to my statement on my video about skating down, where I said, for adults, you must still skate at the highest singles free skate test you have passed, or you can also skate up one level. But adult skaters are not permitted to skate down from their singles free skate test level. I contrasted this to ISI. This is different from ISI, where you can complete an affidavit for test level review to request a review of your current ISI test and competition level, which essentially changes your level with ISI. It's not the same as skating down. The viewer posed the question, are you sure that it's accurate for adult skaters with SAMs specifically competing in non-qualifying events? The question was slightly off topic, as the video was not about adult skating. It was a video about skating down in the standard track. The eligibility restructure primarily affects standard track single skaters, those athletes in national qualifying series, in well-balanced programs, short programs, free skating, and Excel Series skaters. I did not delve into adaptive skating or special accommodations at all in that video, and it wasn't meant to, as the video was about the eligibility restructure regarding skating down from your singles free skate test level in the standard track without special accommodation. So today, let's take a look at adaptive skating and special accommodation. All skating for skaters with disabilities falls under the umbrella of adaptive skating. There is a track for Special Olympic skaters. There is also a Skate United track. Skate United offers opportunities for testing moves in the field or skating skills and singles free skating at the standard level or through the Skate United track, composed of the same required elements with a testing standard one level below the standard passing. This is similar to the adult testing track. Of course, skaters may still test the adaptive skating badges if they are also Skate United skaters. For competition, Skate United skaters may compete under the standard track or a Skate United specific competition level. Currently, there are no IJS competition Skate United tracks. US Figure Skating says they're working on that. For moves in the field or skating skills, skaters that have physical disabilities may choose to test through the standard track, Skate United, or adult track, if applicable. The rationale for a separate Skate United track is to create a path specifically for skaters with physical disabilities and to encourage testing and a sense of accomplishment for skaters with physical challenges. It's important to note that a Skate United test would not meet the prerequisites for a standard track test. So a Skate United skater cannot switch from the Skate United track to the standard track. However, a standard track skater could change from the standard track to the Skate United track. For free skating testing, skaters with physical disabilities may test on the standard, Skate United track, or adult track. The Skate United track has the same required elements. A passing standard is one level below the standard track. This is similar to how the adult track works. Again, note that a Skate United test would not meet the prerequisite requirements for a standard free skate test. A skater can't switch from the Skate United track to the standard track. A skater can switch from the standard track to Skate United. For non-qualifying and Compete USA competitions, Skate United has been added as an additional grouping for each level. Skaters may compete at their respective test level in either the standard track or the Skate United track. Competition should allow skaters to choose which competition grouping best meets their competitive needs. This is intended to encourage equitable competition and increased opportunities for skaters with disabilities. Let's move on to SAM. This is intended to create an equitable skating standard, develop increased opportunities for skaters with disabilities to continue their skating growth, and support reasonable accommodations while supporting an inclusive and welcoming space within US figure skating for all skaters. A skater with a documented disability may request exemption from or modification of a specific technical rule on the basis that such a rule school penalizes them in the marking of the assessment. The SAM may be used within non-qualifying 6.0 competitions in the standard and Skate United tracks. The SAM may also be used within the standard and Skate United testing tracks for moves in the field or skating skills and singles free skate tests. How it works is that a Skate United skater will complete a request for a skating accommodation memorandum. This form can be found on the adaptive skating page within US Figure Skating members only. This form, including necessary medical documentation, should be sent to the Adaptive Skating Committee chair. The Adaptive Skating Committee chair will work with a disability specialist that's on the Adaptive Skating Committee and an appropriate team of medical professionals and skating experts. The SAM process is collaborative and autonomous, with the team communicating with the skater or legal guardian to secure the most appropriate, reasonable accommodation for each skater on an individual basis. The documentation is assessed. Once a SAM is approved, the skater will be provided with an appropriate skating accommodation memo. This can be used at US Figure Skating sanctioned events, including but not limited to test sessions and competitions. The skater is emailed an official SAM to use throughout one season if approved. The SAM needs to be requested for each season. After the SAM is approved and sent, all medical information is permanently deleted. Suppose you're a skater and you compete in a 6.0 event. In that case, the skater or your legal guardian should advise the local organizing committee during the registration process. The LOC will inform the chief referee, who will notify the judges as needed on the panel to implement the skating accommodations. Officials do not determine the accommodations. They simply implement what is stated in the SAM. No information about the skater's health or disability is ever necessary to be known, aside from the skater or legal guardian and the medical specialist that determined the reasonable accommodation. Suppose testing is within the Skate United track or standard track with accommodations. In that case, the skater's legal guardian must notify the test chair at the time of the test registration about the accommodation. The test chair will then inform the judging panel of the accommodation. Similar to the competition implementation, no information about the skater's health or disability is communicated or discussed aside from when a reasonable accommodation are being determined. Officials simply need to provide the stated accommodation for the skater. Suppose a test chair, LOC, or an official have any questions. In that case, they should reach out to the chair of the Adaptive Skating Committee, no one else. It is not appropriate or permitted to ask the skater personal health questions. Aside from a trained medical professional with a strong understanding of figure skating and any other relevant committees, no one will assess the health documentation and determine appropriate and reasonable accommodations. An example of how a SAM could be used if a skater is completing a virtual test and requires a break between moves in the field elements. A skater might seek approval to complete the test over 3 days and execute 2 elements per day under the supervision of an appropriate proctor and within all other virtual testing rules. Another example of a SAM accommodation could be as simple as requiring that the skater's music be played louder. Once a SAM is given to the appropriate parties, they only need to follow the specific directions that it contains. This is actually not a new concept. Skate Canada has been supporting skaters through accommodations for several years. Other countries, such as Iceland, Scotland, and Finland, are also working on similar guidelines. Again, this whole process differs from ISI's process with an affidavit for test level review, which is used by skaters requesting a review of their current ISI test and competition level. Some examples might include passing freestyle tests at a younger age that you can no longer do those maneuvers, or if you've had recent surgery or another ailment that might make the performance of the previous level impossible. The ISI form must be received by the national office at least 30 days before the entry deadline for any local, district, or national competition. If approved, the skater will receive written approval by mail, and the skater's test level will be lowered in the ISI database to the approved level. Suppose the skater wishes to compete at a higher test level in the future. In that case, the skater skater must retest according to the usual ISI testing standards. So in ISI, the skater is not given an accommodation for the season. Instead, their test level is permanently changed to a level more appropriate based on the affidavit. Then, if they wish to move back up to their previous level, they would have to pass the previous tests all over again. S.A.M is also not the same as skating down in U.S. figure skating. Currently, standard track skaters can skate down from their U.S. figure skating singles free skate test level with the eligibility restructure. As far as I can tell, there is no information in the current rulebook that expressly permits a Skate United athlete to skate down in the adult track. That may be permitted in a S.A.M on a case-by-case basis. All these are reviewed individually. If this video helped you, please give it a like and share it with someone else you think it could help. Just post it to your social media too. I post videos every week that can help you with your skating, your fitness, nutrition, and ultimately live a better life. So remember to subscribe and ring that bell so that you never miss a video. This is Amy. Happy skating. I will see you real soon. Thank you for watching. Bye.